Hi there, my name is Jeff Schwartz, and this is Delson Montero, pastor of Word of Life in Surrey. And you're from Brazil, and you had you were a dentist in Brazil for how many years?
For 20 years.
For 20 years. And you are led by the Lord to come to Canada to be a pastor. Why? How did that come about?
My wife and I, both dentists, for 20 years we worked hard there. But through those years, I accepted Jesus Christ into my life, and I went for a Bible study, Rhema Bible study, Rhema Bible Training Center.
Rhema Bible Training Center in Brazil.
In Brazil.
Okay.
And I start understanding the Word and hearing from God about my calling as a pastor.
How long ago was that?
That was about 1993 probably.
Okay.
So now it's more than about 20 years ago.
Right.
But but like for 15 years, almost 15 years, 12 to 15 years, when I identify that I recognize my calling, and God put Canada in my heart. That was God. I didn't know why. I don't have one answer. Say, why Canada?
Right.
So Canada, all the time I was thinking about Canada, and Canada was in my heart. I could see like maple leaves, and I start kind of cry. So I have something with Canada.
Right.
And then walk together. So my calling and Canada.
I see.
Then one day I understood from the Lord, so Canada was the place He was calling me to preach the gospel. And I had a really, I can say, supernatural experience when somebody, a lady, Christian lady, she's a prophet, and she didn't know me. And she asked me this question, so, what about Canada? Why Canada? Something like that. I said, why Canada? How does she know about Canada? And I start saying things like, yes, I would like, I don't know, to know Canada, or sometimes in my life to move to Canada, but she said, no, it's nothing about that. It's not because Canada, they have a great quality of life, because this is what we hear about it. She said, no, it's not about that. It's because God called you to be a pastor in Canada. And that word was just a confirmation what was already in my heart.
When you came to Canada, before you actually permanently brought your family here, God told you to come here and visit. Could you tell some of the stories that took place there? You were looking for a sign or a confirmation as well from God, or something?
Yeah. After many years of preparation and to be a pastor, I started helping and volunteering as assistant pastor in the church in Brazil, Word of Life Church in Brazil. And then I start feeling like it's time to visit Canada, to spy the land. And what I did, I went online researching churches that preaches the word of faith. This is the word that I've learned, and then I'm preaching the word of faith. Which is the Word of God. And I found 4 churches around here, this area. Actually, to be able to say, I'm going to BC or Vancouver area, took a long time of prayer.
Right.
And
you were thinking of going to Toronto as well.
Toronto. Always thinking about Toronto. There's much more Brazilians.
You don't want to go to Toronto. No, I'm kidding.
So I thought about Halifax because I have somebody that I know there, but God said no. Was the opposite side.
Because there's also a church in Montreal.
Oh yeah, in Toronto, Montreal.
That's a Rhema church.
Rhema church.
Okay.
So, but God put Vancouver area, and I started researching churches, and I found 4 churches. One in the island, Victoria, I think. Another one in Kamloops or
Kelowna, I believe.
Kelowna, and 2 churches here. And it's okay. Then I came.
It's been
like 2009.
2009. Okay.
2009. And I left my family there, the dental clinic, kids and children, and I came to spy the land. So and I found after 1 month here, I came to study English, of course, to learn a little bit more English. And then I found the Word in Action Church, and I visited the church. I visited a few churches.
Right.
But that church, when I was there worshiping the Lord, and I've heard somebody pray in tongues, I felt like, wow, this is what I believe. And then suddenly I thought, this is the place.
Right.